Welcome back to the channel. In Dungeons & Dragons, rolling a natural 20 makes you feel like a literal god. But rolling a nat 1? That's when your seasoned, battle-hardened hero suddenly forgets how to use their legs, their weapons, or their basic common sense. Today, we're diving into a Reddit thread that asks, D&D players, what is the absolute funniest natural 1 your party has ever rolled? From stealthy assassins becoming human wind chimes to terrifying warlocks turning into accidental florists, we've got 3 stories where the dice decided to completely humiliate the players. Grab your character sheets and let's dive into the disasters. Story 1. The Human Wind Chime. Our first story proves that you can have all the dexterity in the world and the dice still won't care. Our party's rogue, Silas, was the ultimate edgelord. He wore all black, never spoke above a whisper, and had a ridiculous +11 to his stealth checks. We were level 6, trying to infiltrate the sleeping quarters of a corrupt captain of the guard. The rest of the party, a paladin in clanking heavy armor and a clumsy wizard, agreed to wait outside while Silas slipped in through the second-story window to steal a key. The DM asks Silas to roll stealth to climb through the window. Silas's player smirks, picks up his favorite metallic black D20 and rolls. It bounces out of his dice tray, hits the floor, and lands on a crisp, undeniable 1. Even with his +11 modifier, a natural 1 on a skill check usually means catastrophic failure at our table. The DM sighs and asks, Silas, what is currently inside your bag of holding? Earlier in the campaign, we had looted an abandoned temple and found an entire crate of ceremonial silver bells. We threw them in the bag to sell later and completely forgot about them. The DM describes the scene. Silas gracefully scales the wall and slips 1 foot through the window, but as he pulls his other leg over, his bag of holding snags on a loose nail. The bag rips completely open. Because of the natural 1, Silas doesn't just fall into the room. He falls face first onto the hard wooden floor, followed instantly by the contents of the bag. 350 ceremonial silver bells pour like a waterfall directly onto his head, bouncing all over the stone floor of the barracks. It sounded like a cathedral collapsing. The sleeping captain bolted upright, drew his sword, and just stared in utter confusion as this terrifying, black-clad assassin laid on the ground, completely buried in jingling church bells. We had to spend the next hour bribing our way out of prison. Story 2. The Intimidation Sneeze. Our next story is about a warlock who tried to be terrifying, but ended up starting a garden instead. I was playing a tiefling warlock whose patron was a terrifying fiend from the lower planes. My character was all about fear. Her eyes glowed red, her voice echoed in people's minds, and she was genuinely unsettling. We had captured a low-level bandit who knew the location of the enemy hideout. The bandit was tied to a chair, refusing to talk. Our fighter tried punching him, but he wouldn't budge. I stepped up, cracked my knuckles, and told the DM I want to get right in his face, let my eyes glow with hellfire, and tell him his soul will burn for eternity if he doesn't tell us where the camp is. I'll cast thaumaturgy to make the room shake and the lights dim. The DM says, roll for intimidation. I roll a natural 1. Now, I was playing a tiefling warlock with severe allergies to dust, which the DM had been playfully poking fun at all campaign. We were in a dusty, abandoned basement. The DM decides that right as my tiefling leans in, channels the dark energy of her patron, and opens her mouth to deliver this terrifying, soul-crushing threat, she inhales a massive dust bunny. I didn't just sneeze, I violently sneezed, losing my concentration on thaumaturgy and accidentally casting prestidigitation instead. For those who don't know, prestidigitation is a harmless magic trick spell. Instead of the room shaking and the lights dimming, a shower of perfectly pink, fragrant rose petals exploded out of my nose and gently cascaded over the tied-up bandit. The terrifying, hellfire-wielding warlock just aggressively sneezed a bouquet of flowers on a prisoner. The bandit didn't even scream, he just started laughing uncontrollably. The rest of the party lost their minds. My tiefling was so embarrassed she walked out of the basement and refused to come back down until the fighter got the information out of him. Story 3. The Majestic Chasm Flop. Our final story is a lesson in gravity and why you should never try to show off in front of the party. We were navigating a crumbling dwarven ruin deep underground. We came across a massive chasm where the bridge had completely collapsed. The gap was about 20 feet wide, with a bottomless pit below. Our wizard suggests tying a rope to a grappling hook, but our Goliath barbarian, Grog, scoffs at the idea. Grog has a strength score of 20. The rules state that with a running start, a character can long jump a number of feet equal to their strength score. He physically can make this jump without rolling. But Grog's player didn't just want to make the jump, he wanted to do a mid-air backflip to impress the elven ranger he had a crush on. The DM says, okay, the jump itself succeeds automatically, but you need to roll acrobatics for the backflip. Grog rolls a natural 1. The DM describes Grog getting a running start, his massive boots pounding against the stone. He leaps into the air, soaring beautifully over the bottomless chasm, but halfway across, he attempts the backflip. He misjudges his own weight, over-rotates, and completely loses all forward momentum. He essentially turns himself into a 300-pound falling rock, plummeting straight down into the darkness. We're all screaming. The barbarian is about to die to a bottomless pit because he wanted to do a trick. Our bard, panicking, yells, "I cast Featherfall!" Featherfall slows a falling creature's descent to 60 feet around, meaning they take no fall damage. It saves Grog's life, but here's the problem. Featherfall slows you down, but it doesn't move you forward or backward. It just makes you float straight down, very slowly. Because Grog lost his forward momentum, he missed the other side of the cliff by about 2 feet. So, for the next 3 minutes of in-game time, the entire party just stood at the edge of the cliff, looking down, watching our massive, fearsome barbarian slowly and awkwardly drift downward into the abyss like a giant, angry snowflake, yelling obscenities the entire way down. We had to spend the next 2 hours figuring out how to rescue him from a ledge 500 feet below. And that is why the D20 is the true boss of any D&D campaign. You can plan the perfect heist, build the scariest character, or have the stats of a demigod, but the dice will always find a way to keep you humble. What is the absolute funniest natural one you or someone in your party has ever rolled? Let me know the story in the comments down below. I read every single one, and your disaster might just end up in the next video. If you had a good laugh today, please hit that like button, subscribe for more tabletop stories, and may your dice roll anything higher than a 1. See you in the next one!